Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the graduate school at Tennessee State University, and we're fortunate to have with us the Dean of the Graduate School at Tennessee State University, Dr. Helen Barrett. And of course, Dr. Barrett, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Thank you, Dr. Haney.
And to tell you, Dr. Barrett, how delighted we are to have you here to talk about the graduate school at Tennessee State University. But Dr. Barrett, before we talk about the graduate school at Tennessee State University, let's talk about Dr. Helen Barrett, and perhaps even talk about Helen Barrett before she became Dr. Helen Barrett, by having you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that in the end led you to the chair of the leadership of the graduate school at Tennessee State University.
Thank you so much, Dr. Haney. I appreciate this opportunity. Well, Helen Reinhold Barrett was born in Brooklyn, New York. I was born and raised in New York City. My father was a college professor, and I was and am a Brooklyn Dodger fan. And I went to grade school and high school and college in New York City. And I know this might surprise you, but I wanted to be a baseball player.
Okay.
All right, and I know you don't believe me, but that's true. But that did not work out because they didn't want any female baseball players at that point. And so I did play a number of sports, and that was a great love of mine. I went to undergraduate school at Barnard College, which is part of Columbia University. It's the girls' school of Columbia University. I graduated in 1965, and I went to graduate school in experimental psychology at Southern Illinois University, and I graduated in 1970. I joined the faculty at Tennessee State University in 1970. I was hired by Dr. M.I. Claiborne, who was head of the department there. You may have known him. In 1970, I was a brand new PhD. My field was quantitative methods in experimental psychology. TSU has been my first and only employer. It has provided me tremendous opportunities to develop as a faculty member. I was mentored by faculty members at Tennessee State University. For over 15 years, I had a research laboratory where I trained many students in basic behavioral research at the undergraduate and graduate levels. I had some research grants that provided support for our students and our research programs. I think it provided marvelous research training for many students who have gone on, some of them into the sciences and behavioral science and others into other areas. So I was a faculty member in psychology, and then for about 8 years I was department head in the Department of Psychology, and in 1998 became the dean of the graduate school. I have 2 children. 2 boys, both of whom are graduate students and baseball players.
Okay.
And so I feel that I do have some additional sensitivity about the needs of graduate students because I now see it from my own children's perspective. So I have had a marvelous time at Tennessee State University. I think it has blessed me in many ways and given me tremendous opportunities.
You know, and looking at, Dr. Barrett, the graduate school at Tennessee State University, perhaps our audience would like to know some information in reference to that school. Why don't you give us a little background information about
the graduate school? Well, Tennessee State University, which was then Tennessee A&I State University, began its graduate programs in 1941 with teacher education programs. And that was the extent of their programs, and they did educate many of Nashville and the state of Tennessee's teachers for many years until the 1970s when they began to get additional kinds of programs. They got the Master of Criminal Justice program, they got the Public Administration program, engineering program, and other education degrees. They got an MBA degree. So that was kind of the beginning of broadening of the graduate programs at Tennessee State University, and now there are many more programs, and I'd like to, at some point this morning, tell you more about those. But of course, now we also have doctoral programs, and that began in the 1980s. And in fact, very recently, we added 2 more doctoral programs, one in computer information systems